The mail contained 2 sex tapes they made together and which he sent to her. I could not help but watch it a few times. It was explicit, close up, and detailed, passionate sex going on for 6 long minutes. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I Watched My Wife's Old sex Tape and I Am Destroyed. And guys, this story is about a guy who definitely, he stuck his nose somewhere and he didn't like what he found. This is a guy, sounds like he's in his 40s. He's been married to his wife for 8 years and has 2 kids with her. And recently she went on a girls' weekend. And during that time period, he didn't exactly like her communication with him. There was very little of it. And when she came back, she seemed different. So this guy, understandably, was a little curious. And he started doing some investigating. Started digging through her emails to see if something was going on because, as you guys are fully aware from these stories, oftentimes where there's smoke, there's fire. And he goes through her old emails. And ultimately he finds a video, or multiple videos, that were sent to her from her ex from 10 years earlier before they started dating. And he clicked on them and, he saw a whole lot of a different side to his wife. And let's just say he's not very happy about that. And confronts her about it, and as you can imagine, a lot of fireworks. The thing is, these things went on before they were married. And that's the big issue here, is that it did happen before they were married, but the question is, why is she still hanging on to old videos of her ex? And you're going to see the ex she described as someone that was controlling and other bad things, and yet she still holds on to them. So I'm going to get more into this story here, guys. It's definitely entertaining, and one begs the question, was he in the right to do so? Was this his own fault for what he saw and what happened afterwards? Or the fact that he noticed some bad behavior on her part, he had to do some investigating. So, it starts off, he says here, a few weeks ago, I logged in my wife's online mail account when she was not there. I never did that before, and I trusted her whenever she went out on a girls' night or holidays. But after she returned from a 5-day summer trip with the girls, a bit reserved, and where she was hardly ever available, and he says, party all night, sleep all day apparently, I felt upset and opened her computer. Okay, girls' weekend. How many stories have I done? How many articles have I done? How many personal stories have I done on both channels? What can happen on those things? Doesn't mean all the time, but it happens quite a bit, especially when she's not communicating with him at all. So, in my opinion, he had a good right to do some investigating to see if something was going on, secret emails and stuff. It says here, I opened up her computer, all login details were auto-filled, and there was an inbox with shitloads of spam and clothing offers I did not even look through. There were drafts, sent, trash, and a box called Thingy. Obviously caught my attention. It contained exactly 6 emails, all were really old. One 10-year-old was from her ex and had 2 video attachments. We are married since 8 years and have had 2 kids and are way over our 30s. The mail contained 2 sex tapes that they made together and which he sent to her. I could not help but watch it a few times. It was explicit, closed up, and detailed. Passionate sex going on for 6 long minutes. Quality was crap, but the sound was already nearly enough to make my world crumble. So, it's from 10 years ago. Now, he says he's been married to her for 8 years. So, obviously, they had to date before they got married for 8 years. So, it sounds like, to him, this happened right before she met him. And yet, she kept them all this time. Now, guys, I say all the time that eventually they settle for the nice guy, the guy they consider to be nice guy they can settle down with, who'll provide, but they always lust after that bad boy. And right here's proof. She's keeping evidence of her rendezvous with the ex that she really wanted, her bad boy ex. And now we have girls' weekends and stuff like that. This guy's reason to be concerned. But then again, this happened before they got together. Yes, it happened before they got together, but why is she keeping it? That's an issue. He says, I do know this was 2 years before we even met, and I do not know a lot about him. According to her, he was abusive and controlling to her, and she left him running away overnight with just a suitcase. That was always her story. Now I saw her making sweet love to him, even though this is a long ago, and I feel like I cheated on. I feel like I was cheated on. It's not nice to see your wife sucking someone else's you-know-what in close-up and hearing the sound they both make. If you ever find such a video, don't watch it. It basically looks not different than the videos we made together and the sound she makes from me when we live out our passion. Well, okay, he just said that they make videos, so it sounds like he gets some playtime just like she was with his ex. So at least he's getting some playtime and fun. But still, why is she keeping this? That says a lot. And according to her, he was controlling and abusive and all that. How many times have you guys heard that? And the actuality was he wasn't that way at all. Doesn't mean he wasn't, but a lot of times things are highly exaggerated. I confronted her, and instead of being sorry for me or having an explanation why she kept those videos, she starts freaking out at me. I just cannot believe that in our mail account for only 5 to 6 folders, you could overlook such an email for 10 years and having it sitting there during your 8 years of marriage. I feel this is wrong, and if she really forgot about it, it is still a big F-up in my eyes. She refuses to take responsibility to it. Why did you watch it? She was always asking. And I do not know how to handle my fears right now. Well, he didn't see any email proof of anything going on. He didn't check her phone. He really should have been checking her phone if he really wanted to find proof. But again, why is she keeping these things for 10 years? That's the biggest red flag in my opinion. Tells me she's settled and wants to have a glimpse of the past every now and again when she gets bored. And you know, they don't forget those bad boys. They don't forget that bad boy sausage. He says, when we now have sex, I have to think of that video. I was always faithful to her and trustful, and our love and our sex was special and amazing to me. Now I feel exchangeable, irrelevant, and alone with this problem. Dude, if she's still hooking up with you after that whole thing, you know, I'm pretty impressed. And the fact that, of course he has this on his mind, because that's what guys do. But he went digging, but then again, he watched. He obviously couldn't help himself, but then again, it was 10 years ago, but round and round we go with her. You know, why is she keeping it? That's an issue. Plus, I feel like I'm getting jealous now. Is she really going on the playground with the kids? Who else is there? Does she really go to swim training even more suddenly? Or is that just an excuse to come home freshly showered and tired? I do not want to mention it again, as I do not want to show her what a pussy I am. We have you-know-what, and it's passionate. But I can feel as much as she likes to do it with me, she has no desire for me. Interesting. He senses there's no desire. One could say she's settled. But maybe this is all just down to that stupid sex tape. And in all fairness, it's not her fault. I watched it. And the fact that it was there does not constitute her cheating on me now. Only because I feel like she cheated. Still, it's killing me inside. How can I calm down instead of driving this against the wall of irrational fears? Well, if this guy has to know and he feels something's up, he needs to really on the down low do more investigating, in my opinion. Because if there's smoke, there's fire. She's obviously not happy if obviously she has those videos from 10 years ago and the girls' weekend and him sensing something's off. It's probably worth his money to hire a PI to follow her around to see what's up and maybe check her phone. And if the PI can't find any proof whatsoever and there's nothing on her phone whatsoever after a long bit of research, then maybe there isn't anything going on. Who knows? The odds are something is, but you have to bring that up. He goes on, he says here, as a quick update, he says, just to make this straight, I'm not treating her like she cheated. I also do not make her responsible for my feeling that result from my own insecurity. I apologize and we try to get things straightened out very carefully and without pressure. It still is a difference if you know your girl had sex with other men other than you before, and if you have to witness this live or on tape. I guess that time will fade with the pictures in my mind, and I'm not in need of acute medical care for this. I just feel like crap, and I think I have a right to. And then I expect my partner to support me at least a bit. If she F's up or something, no matter what, I do also not let her sit alone and say, you brought this self onto yourself. Now look at you. I feel like I was careless and stupid, a stupid mistake to keep this on a container that several of the family can access easily, and therefore, apart from being a jerk, a wimp, and a pussy to whine about it. I feel like she needs to take over that part of her responsibility about what went wrong with her on her side. It's possible also she kept that a while ago because she was longing for the bad boy and she forgot about it. Who knows? You can't rule anything out in this crazy world. But I think deep down she kept it on purpose. To remind her of the good old days, the wild days, with a guy that excited her. I did not really invade her privacy. We swap our phones, etc., all the time and do not really have secrets here. She told me herself she doesn't really use that mail account for anything private, and that it has a password we use from many common sites. He says, yes, I went in with the intention of finding some shit, and I found some shit, though different than I thought. My own fault, and yes, it's not of my business what she did with the guys before me, so she could have old tapes of them. And I would not care, as long as I do not have to stumble upon them again, and then being yelled at for saying I didn't really like them. Well, she found a video of him. If she went in his email and he had old videos of him with previous girlfriends from 10 years ago, you can't tell me she wouldn't freak out, right? And think something was up if he was keeping them. So let's keep that in mind. If you want to keep such a memory, which you would not like to find yourself, make sure it's safely hidden. It is 100% sure that she would not tolerate me watching old tapes with my exes and probably not even owning them. Therefore, I think I have a point in being upset. Apart from that, thanks for many helpful, direct, and open answers. Sometimes a kick in the butt is a good thing. Well, there you go. And I think the bigger thing he needs to address is, why was she keeping them? I think if he really senses something's going on, get a PI. It'll be worth every penny. That guy can follow her around for weeks, maybe in a month, and that guy he can research on her phone. And if he sees nothing there, then, well, perhaps nothing's going on. But even if nothing is going on, she's still holding on to that video. And this, once again, backs up and proves they settle. They had that guy they had fun with in the past. He wasn't going to be the white picket fence, house in the suburbs type of guy. So she finds the nice guy to settle with. And notice it was right before they got together, because he said it was 10 years old. They've been married for 8 years. They obviously had time they were dating and all before they got married. So I think it was right before. Didn't work out with a bad boy. So she found that nice guy immediately to settle down with. And here we go. So, interesting one there. So, guys, I'd like to hear your opinion. Is he the jerk in this situation? Is he the a-hole for snooping? Or did he have every right? I think he had every right, given the circumstances, how she's been being different and everything. But then he watched that, and then, well, there you go. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to continue on to see what happens with this story here. Anything follows up. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.